It's ironic, my earliest sporting memory was this very football club, Charlton Athletic. I was born here locally. I grew up being a Charlton fan, and I remember back in the day, this would have been in the early 70s, that I came to this football club, myself, my two brothers, because we lived just to the south here. There was a huge council estate called Morris Walk Estate. It was 1973, it was the FA Cup final. It was Sunderland versus Leeds, and there's two things that really was poignant in that game. It was a double save by Jim Montgomery, the goalkeeper, and it was also the individual that scored the goal for Sunderland. It was a man called Ian Porterfield, who was a wonderful man. The reason why I say that, because he went on to become my manager at Chelsea, and he made me Chelsea's first black captain, and in the Premier League, that was in my career in the early 90s. But that really struck me, it struck a chord with me. As a young kid, I was probably 15 years of age. I had great aspirations to want to become a professional footballer, and I was training with Charlton at the time. And you'll see a photo of me in the car park training with the first team. So I knew then I was, let's just say, a potential player. And for somebody at 15 years of age, I mean, to be really transparent with you, I was due to go to school. I was naughty. I took a day off because I wanted to come to Charlton. And my mother was a traffic warden, and she came into the car park because she gave some of the players some fines, parking fines, tickets. So my mum had a right mouthful at me, and consequently the manager there was Ken Craggs, and she had a go at him. And I remember him actually saying, "Mrs. Elliott, be calm. Your son has got a great future at this football club." When I played, I was very fortunate to have forged a career in England, playing in Italy, playing in Scotland, coming full circle back and playing in the Premier League, and being a captain, being a leader. And the message really means for me, it made my resilience my brilliance. Playing in very, very challenging environments where there'd been a lot of racial abuse towards black players, people that looked like me, monkey chanting, banana throwing. So I stood firm, I stood strong because I was a leader. Muhammad Ali. My dad, he loved Ali, he loved boxing. And in February 1964, Muhammad Ali, he defeated Sonny Liston, knocked him out, and became the youngest ever heavyweight champion of the world. So my dad actually christened my middle name as Marcellus, which is the same middle name as Ali, because he said, and I asked my dad years later, "Dad, why did you do that?" And he just said, "Son, you know, I just felt this boy that I had was going to go out and do some unique things and special things in life." So maybe that's the irony. Role models are important, and I feel I'm a role model to, you inherit the mantle, whether you like it or not, whatever you do. If you're in an environment that's prominent, if you're working particularly in the football environment, where the profiling, it's a global profiling, with that comes responsibility and opportunity. Because I use a phrase, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So if they can't see role models, how can they then have aspiration to do all the various things they want to do? So that visibility is a critical element. It was probably the injury that I had to retire from football in the end. And it was a Chelsea against Liverpool, early 90s. And it was a challenge by another player that really caused me serious damage to my knee. It ruptured the whole ligaments within the knee. And it was a very, very serious injury. The reason why that was so challenging, because everything was so great in my life. You know, captain of Chelsea, you know, being spoken about playing for England, you know, and the Premier League had been formed, and it was wonderful, and it taught me so much about life. And then within a moment, a challenge, 6 minutes at Liverpool, my career was over, literally. Had emergency surgery, and then went through an 18-month period of rehabilitation, of working hard to get myself back to the highest level that I could. And unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. A lot of big things have happened to me. I mean, playing in Italy, you know, against Maradona, against Marco van Basten, against AC Milan at their best. You know, that made me, because that made me realise I can be here. I have a right to be here. And also, you know, in the challenges then towards black players on the field, we were playing in a very, very challenging environment week in and week out. So working through that, having that strength and that resilience from my parents, my grandmother, that were from the Windrush generation, you know, taking that and embedding that, that's their legacy to me. I stood on their shoulders to go in and fulfill my expectations. What I'll say is your career is a very, very small percentage of your life. 7, 8, 9 years if you're lucky. So even when you're playing, enjoy your football, work hard, be dedicated to your craft, be the best that you can be. But during your career, also invest in time in your future. There's so many opportunities within the game. Data analysts, data scientists, you know, administration, coaching, refereeing. Think about your future while you're at your peak today.